Yo, what's up guys, how's everyone doing? It has been a while since we did a live stream, so I just want to make sure audio and everything is okay. But yeah, with that, I do want to get straight into the analysis. I forgot to say that I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Let's get into the analysis on Bitcoin though, because we have had an interesting day. We've seen a lot of sideways movement, as I've been telling you guys. My analysis, my long-term analysis now is telling me that we're going to go sideways, and that is exactly what we've been seeing. I mean, we went sideways here a little bit. We longed Bitcoin around about here in VIP, got a 70% profit, 50 to 70. We went sideways once again. And yeah, we're seeing a bit of a dump off once more. Now, I did mention in VIP that one of my trades, not really a signal, but just to let you know, my promise is to share every single one of my trades in VIP. So what I mentioned was that I shorted at about the 6,470 level. So that was also a nice 80% profit, which we made. And what we're, the price action we're seeing right now is that we're right back in the same sort of sideway range where I mentioned that we were going to be hanging around for a little bit of time. Let me just pull up my notes here, so I'm not going to be pausing all the time. And one of them, I can't speak now. The title of this video is Major Bearish Moves Incoming for Bitcoin. I have to speak very slowly now. The title for this video is Major Bearish Moves Incoming for Bitcoin. I'm too excited today. And the main reason I've titled it this way is there's been a lot of talk about transfers from Bitcoin wallets going around, and I see Crypto Gains saying we're bearish until 10k period. I almost agree with you. In fact, I'd say 11.6 though. And let's go back to this, talk about the wallets. Mt. Gox trustees. If you guys don't know, you should all probably know by now. Mt. Gox was the leading crypto exchange back in 2013-14, and they got hacked, and a lot of Bitcoin was lost, and the whole controversy. And what's happening now, what is it, 5 years later, is that those Bitcoins are being rolled back to the people who lost them. I was actually in contact with one of those people who lost his Bitcoin in that Mt. Gox situation. And I was asking him, what do you think is going to happen? He was asking me, what do you think was going to happen, which I thought was kind of funny. What I think the likelihood is that, yeah, when they do get the Bitcoins, they're going to be dumping them, because it's been 5 years, they've got nice gains from it, which they didn't expect, and the trauma of losing it in the first place, it just makes most sense that those people are going to be selling it, for the most part. Being hodlers for 5 years forced, there is a chance that they're going to hold it a little bit more, expecting it to go higher. But personally, I don't think that's likely. And this ties in. We've seen a wallet transfer of like $350 million, and people are talking about how this is going to lead into a dump. That money being moved onto exchanges and different things like that. You guys know how it is. I don't pay attention to any of that news. If it's news, then it's too late. That's what I said on my Twitter page. There's a link in the description to follow me on Twitter. If the news is already out, if it's on Cointelegraph or whatever else there is, it's too late. And, like I always say, we don't, what news happened at the top here that resulted in us going down? I don't remember. Do any of you remember? I don't know. It just doesn't matter. So news only matters in the moment. It matters for the retail, for the average trader that gets wrecked over and over. But I don't do that, right? I don't get wrecked. So I don't, yeah. and a big reason for that is I just do not care what the news is, because numbers don't lie. Like I said, journalists lie a lot, but numbers do not lie. Yeah, with Bitcoin it kind of does, but it's a little bit complicated. Because of that, is there a major bearish move coming in? Well, still potentially, because we still don't have any bullish catalyst in this market, and we have broken down from this rising wedge. Now, we actually had a much more bearish formation than I'm showing you. It was I believe, ascending triangle, if my terminology is correct. Something a little bit like this. I'm not drawing it correctly, but generally a pattern like this. I mean, this is really bearish, especially for Bitcoin, and so I'm a little bit surprised we didn't drop lower than this, but it does confirm my sort of theory that we are going to be going sideways, and the reason for that is now, we have dropped down right into the support level, the low 6,200s. If we look at the OHLC on the top left, as you know that I usually like to look at, our low for today is 6,207, right there, 6,207. So right down to that crucial sort of 6,200, 6,150 support level. I think, Karen Kelly, I don't get wrecked. I think that, you know, it's no coincidence we're finding support here, though. Like I said, really we should have dropped a little bit further, but the fact that we haven't also, well, I'm contradicting myself, but really it shouldn't come as a surprise. And, you know, one of the big reasons I think that we are going to continue to go sideways is our volume. You know, we're at $12.24 billion being traded in 24 hours, and our low was just in the $9 billion range for volume and mainly around the 10 billion mark. So after the bulk of this dump, we were only up by about 10% in volume. You saw my update on that, I believe, posted in gold as well. And aside from that, it's risen up very slowly afterwards. That volume is not convincing enough. I think if we are about to move down much lower, I would have expected a little bit more volume to come with that. You know, stopping here though is you know, like I said, I had a short open, so I didn't make it an official signal in VIP because I thought the risk was a little bit too high, but I let them know nonetheless. And you know, we had the Ichi cloud, we didn't have any EMA resistance. You know, really it was more of a psychological resistance if anything else. We got a bit of a rejection off that crucial 6600 level. And so yeah, we did end up dropping lower from that. I mean, this is trading sideways in this range. You long the bottoms, short the tops. Of course, it's not as easy as that, unfortunately, but you know, generally that's the kind of thing that will work in this kind of a market, and I think it's still going to work. You know, like I said, volume is not convincing enough to tell us, you know, to tell us that we're going to drop below 6150, below 6,000, and even below our previous low at 5,770. I just don't think it's convincing enough to do that yet. But alt markets are painting a bit of a different image. You know, let's go to Ethereum. There are a lot of eyes on Ethereum right now. Ethereum has swung hugely downwards and upwards. You know, I mean, let's calculate. I believe it's 50% both ways. So going down, yeah, 40%, and going up. If you guys don't know how percentages work, it's really important to know. Going up, you know, when you're ascending in price, percentage gains are much bigger than when you're going down. I'm going to cover that in just a second, actually. So we went up by about 33%. I mean, these are massive swings if we consider, I mean, you know, Ethereum's market cap is only 20 billion. I mean, it's pretty small in the bigger picture of things, but of course, to the layman like you and I, it's pretty big. $20 billion. I mean, there's still a lot of volatility, guys. Let's be honest. This is acting like a penny stock. If you don't know what that is, research it. Watch The Wolf of Wall Street. Amazing movie. That's the kind of thing we're looking at right now. I mean, Ethereum dropping below $200 support. It's not surprising at all. Yeah, I mean, look, we look at CoinMarketCap. Bitcoin down nearly 4%. With Ethereum down 11%, EOS down 12%. I'm going to be looking at EOS a little bit today. You know, a couple others. I mean, it's all a massive loss. And I mean, if we sort this by Bitcoin, where is that? Sort it by Bitcoin here. Obviously, Bitcoin at a 0% loss or gain because it's Bitcoin, but everything else is losing against Bitcoin. And well, we've seen this coming for a very long time. Alt markets, yeah, what's happening is Bitcoin, being the face of crypto, is gathering a lot more attention, and it's the only one that can stay strong in this kind of a market. And so money is going from alts into Bitcoin, and then a lot of that money is going from Bitcoin into USD. Not surprising at all. I really think that's well, it's to be expected, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, actually, I'd say. And now, we take a look at this drop. I wanted to cover this. Ethereum, I think, is a huge play. I think it's dropped so low. I mean, its all-time high was, $1,400, nearly 1,000, well, roughly $1,500, not nearly. And now it's down into the $100 range. So that's a huge loss. By any measure, that's a huge loss. And with that, I think, comes a lot of opportunity, because Ethereum, I mean, a lot of people will flame me for saying this, but I think Ethereum has really good use cases, and it's run by a smart guy. People have their differences with, people hate so much, forget that. Vitalik is a good guy. I mean, he knows what's up. He is talking at all of these really important conferences and different things like that. He has a very good face for Ethereum, and yeah, with everything it represents, it can be upgraded to Gen 2, Gen 3. People are going to say things like ADA, whatever. Ethereum is the face of ERC20. It is the face of decentralized apps. Fundamentally, it's only been getting stronger as it's been going down. And so, with Ethereum leading the way for alts, and with such a massive drop, uncalled for, I personally think, I think that when the next bull market comes, and inevitably it almost certainly will, not financial advice, but markets come in cycles. We're in a bear market, we were in a bull market. It's a cycle. I think when the next one comes around, the bull market, Ethereum is going to be leading the way. I mean, I want to visualize that for you right now, just to sort of put it into perspective as well, because a couple people will think, why would you play Ethereum when Bitcoin will be doing the same thing? And, the reality is it's actually not doing the same things as Bitcoin. That's why I'm looking at alts a lot more now. That's why I'm looking at the bigger alts, Ethereum, and then also the smaller ones like EOS and the like, but still sort of top 10, top 20 market cap. If we look at the loss on Ethereum right now, it's been an 86% loss from all-time high. So if you put in $1,000 at the all-time high, you would have, why did I put myself in this situation? I can't do the math. You would have, I think, $130, something like that. Yeah, 1,000 down to $130. I mean, we're all kind of used to that now, unfortunately, but this kind of a loss is huge. And if we do look at Bitcoin, that loss, this is what I mentioned I was talking about with a VIP member earlier today. I think it's really important. That's why I wanted to share it here. Where is the price? 6,244. So roughly about here, a little bit lower than that, sorry, a little bit higher. So roughly, 68% loss. If we look at it from the low, it's been a 70% loss. So the low of 5,700 and the low of Ethereum, it's, I believe, 90% or something like that. It's a 17% difference in the lows for these two coins. But if we look at how much of a gain it's going to take to recover these, you're really going to see why I think there's so much more opportunity in Ethereum. I've got this from the low of 5,700, and to climb back up to all-time highs, that is roughly a 240% gain for Bitcoin. That means it's going to have to do a 3x, 3.4 times gain, because it's plus 240. Plus 3.4 times gain, yeah, I mean, that's a lot, but Bitcoin can do it, right? It goes parabolic. ETH, nonetheless, if anything can do it, Ethereum can, because it's gone from, well, I mean, it's had similar gains to Bitcoin, I mean, its ICO back in like 2014-15 has paid off massively. It's been, I believe, the most lucrative ICO ever. Maybe wrong, I don't know. But then if we look at the low for Ethereum, and, we look at how much it's going to take to bring this up to all-time high, yeah, it is 680% compared to Bitcoin's 240%. So, it's a small difference in how much they've dropped, but like I said, these percentages really matter. On the way down, it gets amplified so much more when you're going back up. And that's where I think a lot of IO to ICO gave more returns. Okay, that's not surprising. Yeah, I think that makes a little bit of sense. But I mean, 680% gain on Ethereum. Let's be honest. I mean, how many of you think Ethereum is going to fall off a cliff when the bull market comes, or before then? I just don't think it's going to be one of the coins that gets shaken out. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And so, if Bitcoin is reaching all-time highs again, Ethereum is probably going to do the same thing, and where are the gains to be made? I mean, we've got 680% on Ethereum compared to 240 on Bitcoin. Both are very safe. Obviously, Bitcoin being safer, assuming we are going to go back to all-time highs, but nonetheless, I'm seeing a huge amount of opportunity here, and so that's why I wanted to talk about it. On the whole, though, I think it's, I'm really being a massive hypocrite here now, but I think it's getting more attention than it deserves. I don't think it's worth looking at Ethereum too much right now. And there's a lot of hate for it. Like I always say, people are most bearish at the bottom and most bullish at the top. I saw a very nice chart today that showed at every one of these peaks, let's make this a naked chart real quick. At every one of these peaks, well, not this one, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's still happening now. We had people calling for alt seasons, we had people calling for the new bull market, on and on and on, and it's too predictable. It's, people are most bullish at the top, and now we're seeing a lot of hate. I mean, markets are really souring. You don't have to look further than DMs of people like me who put out YouTube videos or are Twitter influencers, as they call themselves. You know, they were getting smashed with hate, and it's because people are losing a lot of money. It's becoming pretty sour in this market, as you know, especially as we're going down. And again, this ties into what I said about going sideways, right? I mean, what's going to cause the max pain? Let's take a look at the shorts. I wasn't supposed to show this to you yet. That's further down in my notes, but we're going freestyle right now. What's up? Look at this. We're back up to all-time highs, roughly 40,000 orders going short. We're up to 39,000 short orders positions on Bitfinex. Longs continuing to decrease. You know, I mean, you can't really analyze this, but as I always say, you know, we are up to all-time highs for shorts. It has acted as resistance. Not, again, you don't analyze this stuff, so not quite the terms you would use, but nonetheless, it works. And so, you know, topping out at about over here, still a possibility. There's a chance that since we're testing these lines over and over, it gets weaker, but like I said, you can't do analysis on this stuff. Longs, let's take a quick look at that. I mean, really declining, and so I don't think we're about to start, you know, a 2-3 week rally now going up to $8,000, $9,000. I think that's quite unlikely, but what would equally cause a lot of pain in this market is going sideways. Because, well, people will get wrecked in funding fees, for example, on BitMEX. It's just uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, having a leveraged position open on BitMEX, or rather on anything, for any period of time longer than a couple days. I mean, it depends on your leverage, but I would never, you know, with only very few exceptions, keep positions open for more than a couple days, especially if it's on leverage. And so it's gonna, you know, going sideways, people expecting volatility. Like I said, this emotional rubber banding, we get so used to such a tight price range. I mean, look at this. I mean, you know, we're zooming out and this is nothing, right? This price action is nothing. But then we look at how long it's been playing on for, and, you know, the percentage it's moved between. Let's take a look. It's been a 7.5% trading range for 11 days, so nearly 2 weeks. On the whole, it is literally, you know, it's just a speck on the chart. But look at how price sensitive everyone's getting, you know, over this. So suddenly we're talking about the Mt. Gox dumping, and we're talking about, you know, the ETF rejection, and then Bitcoin going down to $1,000, and it's typical. It's, you know, and like I said, my objective here is to show you guys why that's wrong, and to make sure that we stay completely rational, because I'm saying it right now, it's only going to get harder. It's only going to get harder to stay rational in this market. Because, like I said, if we're going to see more sideways movement, that's going to cause a lot more of what I'm describing. And it's going to get pretty difficult. So, you know, by reminding ourselves now, by sticking this on our walls, our fridges, the bloody windscreen of our car, you know, this is what's going to help us bear in mind that, yeah, we've got to stay neutral. It's very, very important to be doing that. Now, like I said, regardless of what's going to be happening, I didn't say that this stream, but in the past, regardless of the markets and various different things like that, we are still going to be making these gains in VIP. One of the messages I got today, this person started on the 1st of September, made 3 trades, and more than doubled his portfolio in, well, 1st of September, today's the 17th, so 17 days. Pretty good, yeah, for not even 3 weeks. Yeah, it's been pretty good. We've been getting very nice gains. You know, our objective is to hit bigger numbers and not with such a high frequency, because our risk management is very, very strong. It's key, in my opinion, to exercise proper risk management. That's what we preach in VIP, and that's how we get these kinds of gains in 3 trades and 16 days. Pretty amazing stuff. So if you are interested, go ahead and hit up the link in the description to join my free Telegram channel, and at the bottom of any post in Crypto Mafia Gold, click on my name and send me a message. That's how you join VIP. I've already gotten a couple, well, one message. I'll get back to you at the end of this stream. I want to go over EOS today. As pointed out a few days, this is one of the analysis pieces that we just put out in VIP literally a few seconds before the stream went live. As pointed out a few days ago, so we covered this earlier, this support is absolutely crucial for EOS. So actually, let's bring up the chart, because that's way too hard to see in this case. I mean, we are at this crucial sort of $4.7, $4.70. I mean, this is it, right? Below this, slap on the VPVR, there is nothing, right? I mean, we're on the 200 bar precision, so this is quite precise, and even now it's a very strong indication that it's, you know, it's very weak right now. And if it drops this level, yeah, it's pretty much done for. I mean, we switched this up to 20, and yeah, we've got nothing. I mean, you know, once it drops below this bar, technically it has, it's straight dump town for EOS until, you know, the $1 range. And that is a great shorting opportunity. Let's go back to the screenshot here. It's now trading within the support. I don't want to open a short position yet because, you know, there is still a chance that we are going to get a bit of a bounce. But, you know, a risky sort of short to place ahead of time, potentially, if I take this off, you know, below this support level, potentially a stop market short somewhere around about here below support. Could work. Still a little bit too early and a little bit too risky to be placing those trades. Like I said, once the situation sort of sweetens up a little bit, we'll post the real sort of signal in VIP, and also more signals coming to gold as well. So potentially EOS will be one of them. Yeah, it's still fighting its downtrend, and, you know, with Bitcoin going down, a little bit dramatic, the battle was lost, and you know, yeah, the support level is quite important. But, you know, this is EOS USD, this is traded on Bitfinex. It's quite heavy trading volume on USD, but most of us, I think, are using BitMEX, and so the BTC chart, because we can't trade EOS with USD, we can only trade it with BTC on BitMEX. It's pretty much the same. It's still at this crucial sort of support area. It's a little bit more messy, but given the trading volume on USD, we have to take that into account and give it a lot of weight, as well as the Bitcoin chart. And so, you know, when and if this support level is broken, most likely it's going to be broken on the USD chart as well, and that lines up really nicely. So EOS is one to keep an eye on. I remember when I reached this all-time high, it was pretty funny. You know, it's definitely one to bear in mind and watch as a potential shorting opportunity. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this if we're talking about a setup to short. And I mean, on the whole, Ethereum, I showed this chart with you, to you quite a while back now, actually, but Ethereum is at the same sort of level. Bitcoin obviously is at the same sort of level. Everything is, and you know, once Bitcoin sort of tumbles below, it's not as clean for Bitcoin, obviously, because it has the typical bubble pop chart. But you know, when and if this sort of crumbles, it's, you know, it's gonna go down for everything. And so the priority then becomes risk management, and seeing a couple more messages about VIP here. A priority then becomes about risk management and looking for the coin that's going to give you the greatest return. So if we short this, for example, say 5,700 down to 5,000, that's roughly 15% price movement, 15 times 25x leverage, which I always use. Where is my calculator? 15 times 25 is 375% gain. So 4.7x time return. And, you know, on EOS, for example, to take a quick calculation of where we're looking at for that, snap on the VPVR once again, and let's look at this percentage gain. So this would be roughly, let's say down here, so that's a 51% move down. I mean, it's huge. 51 times 20, well, you would never use 25x for EOS because it's the price range is too tight. It makes a lot more sense to use high leverage numbers on Bitcoin, but absolutely not for alts. But as a thought experiment, 51 times 25 is a 1,275% gain. That is a 13x, nearly 14x gain. So pretty good. Pretty good shorting opportunities. Like I said, you're going to want to look for the one that's going to give you the highest return, because if one of them is going to fall, mainly if Bitcoin is going to fall, then the rest will as well. And you have to look for where you can make the most gains. There is one problem with this. It's a little bit of a funny one. Hopefully this won't be your problem, though it's a nice problem to have as well. This is going to make a fuckload of money. I mean, it's going to make a lot of money, and you're going to have liquidity problems if you, for example, short it down to $2. Volume is going to be lower across the crypto market. People are going to be shaken out from the market, and so order books are going to be thinner. It's going to be a lot harder to close your short position. just a warning. You know, even if it's just, I say just, that's a lot of money, but even if it's a $10,000 short order, you put in $10,000, you know, 10 times 13, which would be a 13 times gain, you're looking at $130,000. That is going to be hard to liquidate at a level like this. Just small things that you need to keep in mind. I think like I said, it's a bit of a funny problem because it's a good problem to have, but nonetheless, it's quite annoying. You can see this with any number of sort of, you know, we look at the volume. I mean, it's MOAC. What is this? And look at the volume here. I mean, I'm sure if we just take a look at one of the exchanges that it's trading on and see what's up. I mean, $172,000 volume. This is a joke. It's a bloody joke. We'll take a look at this trading pair right now and see what's up. Traded in USDT and Ethereum. That's how you know it's a shit coin. And let's take a look at the order book here. Where is it? It's in Chinese. That's helpful. I believe it will be somewhere here. Nope. Okay, not at all. All right. Well, we can almost see it. I believe this means 31 MOAC coins. Either 31. Yeah, 30. Either 31 MOAC coins or $31 trying to be bought at this price level. So it's very thin, and then only 1,700. So again, I mean, you know, this can be a lot to some people, but say you've got $5,000 worth, you're not going to liquidate that with this kind of an order book, and that's what it's going to look like for the likes of EOS. Bitcoin, you're going to have less problems with. You know, that's why the bigger money always goes to the bigger assets, because it's just, you know, there's liquidity problems, and many businesses have died. Many businesses have died because of a lack of liquidity. So you need to be very careful of that if you're playing with even 5-figure amounts. 6, 7 figures, good luck. But even 5, yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky. With that, I think I've covered everything. Volume, all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, let's take a quick look at the main sort of indicators I always like to throw on and give you a bit of an update with those. Unfortunately, you know, the EMAs aren't really telling us much right now. The 4-hour EMA no longer has a spread because of our sideways movement. Daily EMA is shaping up to be similar. It's lost a lot of its spread as well. Yeah, I mean, it's been a conclusive rejection. My bad, it hasn't lost a lot of its spread at all. I don't know what I was thinking about. Yeah, it's acted as you know, as resistance here as well. So it's still proven to be useful. Daily EMA is a little bit more dodgy though. You may have noticed it doesn't have as good of a success rate because it just flows right through price action. And the Ichimoku cloud is still here. It's nearly closed up. If we can get a little bit more green movement here, this will become a green cloud. If we can hit a level like 6,800 over the period of a couple days, yeah, it's going to become a green cloud. And that to me would be the first early warning sign of a bull market. Right now, I think there are no signs of a bull market apart from potentially being at support right now, but it's been tested too many times. Seeing a green Ichi cloud would give us the possibility of going bull, and yeah, getting closer to this green. I mean, and that's still, bear in mind, that's still going to take more than a month. It actually lines up with Alessio Rostani's prediction that we're going to go bull at the end of October, and with me saying that we're going to go sideways for a little bit, I think it lines up pretty nicely. So yeah, if we do get a bit of a green cloud there, it's going to be nice. My settings, as usual, are a little bit different than the default settings. This is what we use in crypto because it's a 24/7 market. But apart from that, I still think it's going sideways. We're going to see these opportunities in the alts. And I just want to make a quick correction. One thing I've realized I've said wrong is that Bitcoin is going to go, well, every coin is going to drop below support if Bitcoin does. Like I said, that is wrong. If Bitcoin continues to go sideways, like I showed you in one of my previous videos, because alts are weaker, if Bitcoin is going to be able to struggle and still go sideways, alts are almost definitely going to end up dropping those support levels. And yeah, that's the best case scenario in my opinion, definitely. Definitely the best case scenario. I'm going to go through a couple of questions now. It's been a very long time since I have. Kebman, shout out to you. Kebman is a really awesome guy. He is putting out updates on these videos and also other videos on his Twitter page. So, Kebman, I know you can't post links, but if you can, by separating the URL, go ahead and put it in the chat so everyone can follow you. I think your posts are awesome. What's up, Four Flies? How have you been? I've been alright, Blockwolf. It's great to see you here. Hope you've been alright as well. Yeah, guys, get Blockwolf a bit of a subscription as well. Great guy. Let's see what's up. Alessio is God. Yeah. Greetsman question. In my opinion, is that what you're asking? In no? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. We're not supposed to put too much weight on the shorts long, but right now shorts have a 5%... No, sorry, 55% superiority short squeeze. Yeah, reality, I touched on that. I don't think it counts for too much. I still think it's being blown out of proportion, but yeah, 55% is a pretty big spread. Like I said, I think the most likely situation is that we're going to go sideways. There is a chance if we compare this to the 2013-14 trend, which I can't show you right now, there is a possibility that we end up setting a new high, a higher high, and then we break support. I think that's quite likely. That's why my eyes are still very much on that 11.6 number, $11,600. Let's see what else is up in these comments. If you guys have questions, I mean, like I said, it's been so long since we've done a live stream. I'd love to go through them and see what's up with the chat today. BitMEX 20% portfolio short, 5x leverage. Let the trade overnight. 20% of your portfolio. That's a little bit crazy, I think. I don't know. I mean, I used to do big numbers like that, but you know, you read any book on trading, and they will always, you know, first thing they'll say is to not do that. They will say, you know, maximum 1% or 3% or 5%. I've never seen a trader saying more than 8% in any book. And personally, for me, that rule is 5 to 15%, and I'm always on the low end of that. Crypto Kirby and Tony Vase, is that how you say it? Tone Vase? I don't know. Have been right during these bear months so far. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch Vase, I'll call him, but yeah, Crypto Kirby has been pretty good. Yeah. Like I said, him and Alessio are the only two analysts that I still watch. I just genuinely discard everyone else's analysis. It's, yeah, after watching these traders for a very long time, and the way they explain things and their market insights, yeah, of course, apart from watching my own videos, because I'm extremely vain, I need to start trading like these. People all over the world are making a killing. This depresses me. Conscious vegan, good point, but do not let that make you make stupid decisions. Yeah, the way you're looking at it, you've got to be careful. Yes, a lot of people are making big money, but that doesn't mean... This reminds me of my driving lessons, actually. When I began, obviously, I was a noob at driving, and so I wanted to drive like everyone else, right? Take the roundabouts quickly and all that. But you can't do that. You need to start off slowly, and you need to start off safely, right? Just like driving. And then... yeah, you can start driving like a normal person, I guess. Bear in mind, I mean, normal, in the trading space, normal means losing money. I believe it's like 90 to 95% of day traders lose money, and everyone starts out being a day trader because we're all idiots, myself included, very much so. I lost a lot of money at the beginning. And then even when you stop day trading, you know, it's a phase. When you stop day trading, you're probably still going to lose money as well. So you have to be prepared for that. Yeah, I'd say read some books if you haven't already. Is the VIP call on ETH still good? Yes, it is. What's your next support if Bitcoin breaks 6K? Good question. 5,900, then 800, then 700, and below that 4,500. I mean, there are smaller supports in between, but you know, nothing important. Let's see what else is up. You trade with 25 times leverage, but how much of your capital do you put at risk at such a trade? Well, my exec 11, I personally trade with 25x, and I'm guessing a lot of my VIP group as well, because they get similar gains. Because we exercise good risk management. So even if you're only putting 0.5% of your portfolio per trade at 25x, it means nothing if your risk management isn't good. So that's why I showed, you know, with this screenshot of our chat, this guy only made 3 trades in 16, 17 days, and he's up 2x on his whole portfolio. That doesn't happen by having poor risk management just because, you know, you're using a small amount of your portfolio, right? It comes with proper risk management. And so I can tell you, like I said, I never use more than 5%. I'm after reading these trading books, I'm actually lowering that down closer to 1% now. Think of it this way: when we're getting massive gains like we do, 70%, 80% on the short I just closed today, you don't need to risk a lot of money. Going 1% will mean that you still have a 2%. You've got a 2% gain on your portfolio that day, with roughly 80% profit. And with 5%, that means you've got a 10% gain on your portfolio. Well, it's still a 5%, but it becomes 10. And when you think of it like that, you don't need to be aggressive. So yeah, that's my stance on that. Four Flies bearish or bullish? You need to watch the stream, mate. BNB, Neo, I don't think. I don't think those are worth looking at, because you can't trade them on leverage from, on BitMEX, for example. BNB, and the problem with alts right now is all of these alts that aren't sort of in the top 15, 20, that aren't on leverage trading sites, is that you can't short them, and so there's nothing you can do while they're going to go down. You can only buy them when you believe we've hit a temporary bottom and we're going to rally up, and then you have to try and sell the top. It's really hard. And that's why I'm sticking to leverage trading right now. And like I said, it is not in this stream, but as I have been saying, it is the only way to make money in this kind of a market. It's trading on leverage. It's kind of unfortunate. I mean, it's not really unfortunate because we still make huge gains, but yeah, there is definitely more risk involved with that. If you're interested in knowing how to trade on leverage, type in 4Flies space BitMEX. You'll see my tutorial on how to use BitMEX. It's the exchange I use. There's a link in the description if you want a discount on the fees. Same question about ETH. What's that question about ETH? Stop loss on ETH. There is no stop loss. The reason for that is liquidation is too tight. So message me about that if you have a question. You just cannot place a you also can't place one because the order isn't triggered yet. You can use close on trigger, but yeah, stop loss won't work. If you run the numbers with leverage, a 15x leverage compared to 25x leverage makes a $3 difference in liquidation price. There is no way, unfortunately, to place a stop for that. It's the reason it's the reason I haven't said that I'm entering yet. I mean, our entry is still very far away, but I still haven't decided if it's a trade I want to make. Just look right over here. What do you think about holding nowadays? Martin, holding doesn't work in a bear market. If you're taking a very macro approach, you're not even in the right place, because by watching my videos, it means you're interested in what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, or whatever. But if you're taking a sort of 5-year, 1-decade approach, hodling probably works. It's an emerging technology, blockchain is here to stay, all that stuff, so yeah, it's probably holding is probably going to work. But it's I've lately been calling it a poor man's strategy, because it's based a lot on hope and not actually taking proactive decisions. It's based on hope. It's based on hoping that we're going to go up, and hoping doesn't make you money. So poor man's strategy. I don't like to put it that way, but yeah, I mean, if you're still doing it, you'll probably realize in some time that holding does not work. NC17Z. I think I posted one of your messages in these videos. You'll make back your VIP membership in 1 or 2 trades. I'm serious, it's amazing. You sound like a paid shill, but I will take it because I know that's true. But I think some people are going to call me out for that. Is it time to buy altcoins in these days? No, I don't think so. No, VIP is not $3,000. I don't know, like, who's saying that. That's why I give the information in PMs if people ask for it, because people will throw crazy numbers around. Like I said, if you want to join, click on the Telegram channel link. It's the first link in the description, and then click on my name at the bottom of any posts, and just message me from there. But yeah, with that, I am going to be heading off. I really hope you have enjoyed this stream. It has been an absolute pleasure. I am going to continue doing these live streams. It's been 40 minutes, so when I go live, these videos end up going for so much longer. But some people appreciate that, some don't. I don't know. I'm just testing what's up. But yeah, with that, I am going to be heading off. I'm out. Peace.